welcome into Dizneyverse Fantasy Football League. I am your host, Alex. No Scott today, but I do have a special guest. I'll introduce him in a second. But first, I want to let you know, if you are joining us for the first time, this is a fantasy football league for a Patreon group, part of a podcast called the Dizneyverse. If you don't know who we are a Disney history podcast, Dizneyverse. And, we just decided to put something together for our Patreon to do a little fun fantasy football league. And I figured, hey, let's make some content and get everybody really involved this year and let them really, get psyched about fantasy football. So if you found us, welcome. We will talk about the league in general, but me and my special co-host will talk about players in general. So maybe this helps you for your league. I don't know. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce my special guest this week. He is the highest scorer of the week. Week 3, we have Dane from Big Beautiful Diz. How you doing, Dane?
Good. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm doing good. So I'm going to scroll down here and show the group. You here, Big Beautiful Diz, had the highest scoring week with 155.48 points. How'd you do it?
Jawan Jennings.
That's what it is?
Yeah, he pretty much carried my whole team. Yeah, that dude, he was crazy this week. So yeah, that 155 points. I did not expect to get that, but yeah, Jawan Jennings was insane this week.
Yeah, we'll talk about him a little further, but yeah, he definitely went crazy as well as other players. And if you follow along with this show, we usually go into our players of the week first, but we're going to change it up. We're going to talk about our games, and then as the players come, then we'll talk about them. So first, let's go with your game, Team Kalina versus Big Beautiful Diz. And this was a not so close game. It was 155.48 to 105.50. And I think when we picked these, Scott and myself, we were split. I think I picked Kalina. I think Scott picked you, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot closer than it was.
Yeah, it definitely should have been.
CJ Stroud had a weird week. Alvin Kamara didn't do what he did last week.
Yep.
Malik Neighbors, Malik Neighbors, that was surprising. She had 2 players that weren't playing. So honestly, it would have been a lot closer if she needs to get. I think Kittle might be back this week. I'm not sure. And then Addison, he's not gonna be back for a little bit. So
yeah, they hope to get Kittle back at practice.
Yeah, I would either put Sutton or Judy in there. You gotta get.
I would put Judy. The thing about put Judy is, if you look at his percentage snap, it is crazy. He has 82% his first game, 79% second game, and 90% the third game. His targets aren't crazy, but the snap percentage is there. And their matchup next week is, I think, an easier team. I click Judy here. Yeah, Las Vegas. So I think I'd do Judy over Sutton. What do you think?
Who does Denver have? Let's see. Oh, Denver's playing Jets. Yeah, Judy.
Yeah,
Judy for sure.
And Sutton has about similar snap percentage. He has 91, 89, 74. So they're about the same. But if you go matchup, I would definitely pick Judy over Sutton.
Yeah, Sutton's going to be put up against Sauce Gardner, which is not going to be a good matchup for him at all.
That's true.
And usually Judy has the better week than Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was 7 for 12, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a great game. Yeah. But usually Judy is the better of the two this year, at least.
So if we look at the matchup here, we do have a player of the week. And that player of the week is the one you alluded to earlier. It is Jawan Jennings, the wide receiver for the 49ers. And I mean, it was a surprise because he was just coming in for Debo, right? But why did you not catch 3 touchdowns? Just he was right place, right time, every play, it seemed like.
Only one miss, only one drop. I don't even know if it was it could have been a bad throw.
Yeah.
Not quite sure. 175 yards, 3 touchdowns, just insane week. And I mean, it also helped that Kittle wasn't there too. So and McCaffrey.
Yeah,
So they pretty much didn't have anybody else on the offense to help Purdy. So he was very quickly the number 1 target. And if Kittle was back this week, it's very rare coming off of an injury, just any sort of injury, that players have big weeks and get a lot of targets, just because he's coming off of a hamstring, I think.
Let's see here. It said I can't look back. No, that's Debo's out for calf.
Yeah, Debo's going to be going for a while, because that's a
hamstring. Yeah,
hamstring. Okay, so it said, the article I'm reading here is from yesterday. It says it may return to practice this week. So you don't know if Kittle's going to come back. Debo's definitely not going to be back. So Jennings is going to be in my lineup for the foreseeable future until these guys come back. Because it's like, unless it just hits a wall, he's going to he's the number 1 or number 2 guy right
now. Number 2, Ayuk's number.
I would say number 2. Yeah.
And they're playing. So they play New England, Arizona, Seattle, Kansas City. Those are all good matchups.
Very, very favorable matchups, except KC. But yeah, New England, Arizona, Seattle, and then by the bye week, Debo should be back. I would think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all great matchups for him. I'm very excited for him.
If we go to the other side of the ball, we do have a player of the week for Kalina. And we have a few player of the weeks for Kalina. So you're lucky she had 2 people sitting out. The first one we're going to look at is, we had the tight end, Dallas Goedert, as I call him. And he went off 22 fantasy points. He had a crazy stat line, 170 receiving yards, but no touchdown. He still had.
If I remember correctly, he got close to a TD.
It was 11 targets, 10 receptions. Yeah, crazy stat line for him. He's having an amazing year. Not amazing year, but 5 points first week, 5 points second week, 22 third week. He's looking good.
Yeah, especially with Devontae Smith going down. He's gonna have some big weeks coming up here.
And then the other person she had was the defense she started, did really well. That's the Minnesota Vikings, second time being the player of the week for that particular position. And they put up 13 points, 2 interceptions, only 7 points allowed, which is a stat. It depends on how many points they allow. And they also had 5 sacks. They put up 22 points first week, 14 second week, and 13 the third week. They're doing work over there in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a real team.
Yeah.
Real team. So you're very lucky, because let's see, she lost by, she lost by 50. That's a lot of points to come up against. Could she have won if she put the players in? 10 for Sutton? No, she couldn't.
Yeah.
No, but you're still pretty lucky.
Yeah, I 100%. I mean, even if Juwan Jennings gets half the points that he does, it's still a very close game, and I probably would have lost. But yeah, I mean, it hurt to have the Jets on the bench. I mean, if we're talking about the
I remember because you messaged Scott and I said, Jets just put up 17 points, which they are the highest benched defense points-wise. They had 7 sacks and fumble recovery for 17 points. And you were like, you guys told me to start the Bills, and I followed your directions. They put up 14. Not bad.
Yeah. Bills was really good. At least I also had the highest defense of the week, because if they would have put up like 10 or something, I would have been much more angry than.
Oh, that's right. That Buffalo was the highest defense. They were one over Minnesota. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So I mean, my bench is horrendous here. I mean, Amari Cooper, I got sick of because I just don't like his QB. He goes all for 24. Rome. Yeah. I'm waiting on Rome just because he's a rookie. I don't want to start him right away. I'm just waiting for him to catch on. Yeah,
he did
he's doing well.
Caught on.
Yeah. Madison, honestly, I just got him for bye week purposes. I'm not going to be starting him anytime soon. Same thing with Steele, just in case if he goes crazy. And then Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to be dropping soon because he's having a horrible start.
Horrible start.
Um, yeah, so it's like the bench is horrendous, but at least the starters actually did so, except Hunter Henry. He he barely stepped on the field.
Yeah, really. Jeez.
Yeah, horrible week from him, but yeah.
Let's go on to our next matchup. We have East High Wildcats versus Stroop the Whoop. And this one was closer than you think because it was 95.52 to 76.98. And John, I'm going to go a little tutorial at the end of the episode about how to drop and add players. I'll show you via the video. But he had Vidal on his roster, which is a 0.
Yeah, Vidal needs to be taken off. He's not even a starter.
Yeah, he's not a starter. But if he would have put Chuba Hubbard in instead of Vidal, which would have been the player you replaced him with last second, that would have been the change. That's 25 points, and he would have ended up winning.
Well, he's a great player too, so he'll have a decent season. I mean, he doesn't have a very good matchup with Cincinnati coming up week 4, but next to Chicago, Atlanta, Washington, Denver.
It's a great matchup. Cincinnati can't do anything on defense. They're by far one of the worst defensive teams against running in the NFL right now. And he put up over 100 rushing yards and a receiving touchdown for his 25 points. So I would definitely start him next week for sure.
Oh yeah, you definitely should start him.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely should start him.
Yeah.
That's a no question.
No, yeah. But let's work at this week. So, Stroop the Whoop, he had Josh Allen, which went off for 30.92, and that is our top QB of the week. Josh Allen. And a little behind the scenes here. I do my stuff on Monday. I set up all my little slides so I can get it done ahead of time. And I watch the scores to see what happens. And then I go to work and I go, Josh Allen, maybe do some work on Tuesday because I have to go in and change my slides, which I missed. I missed your top defense, the Buffalo defense. Okay. But yeah, Josh Allen went off for 30.9 points. He had 260 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. He's having an amazing year.
No interceptions, just crazy.
Amazing year. No interceptions. Already has passed 7 touchdowns. He's rushed for 2, and he's only had 2 sacks. What?
And he already had a 31-point game with the first week of
Arizona.
And then how do you only have 9 points in Miami?
I think so what happened in Miami, I think, is they went up by so much. He didn't play that much.
Oh,
look, he only had 19 attempts.
Yeah, for stats, he only has 1 fumble. Yeah.
He had 1 fumble. He only had 19 attempts. So he didn't play a lot because they were running the ball down Dolphins' throat. And after 2-0 got hurt, it was over anyways.
Yeah.
So it was easy. But if continue to look at this matchup, Richardson, 7 points. That was a terrible game by him. Not something you're going to see by him very much. I mean, that right there is another thing that John could have maybe won out of that one. Singletary usually does put up 16. So John had a very good chance to win this game. I mean, he did have a chance to win this game if he put in the right player. So I'm definitely going to show him how to change some players out.
Well, and I like Richardson as his QB a lot. Richardson's going to be a great player.
Yeah. His first week was amazing. Second week, not so much. Third, terrible. Did defensive figured him out? I don't think so. I think it was just a low week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like his team. I would say probably legit isn't legit.
Legit's not legit. I like that. No, he's not. He definitely doesn't get taken out.
He doesn't have another wide receiver, so you definitely need to pick up another wide receiver.
He needs to hit the waivers, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, absolutely.
He needs to hit the waivers. But I mean, Otten P. Ryan is a starter for Kansas City. Is he the starter? Yeah, 38% snaps.
Yeah. Balanced with
Carson Steele, who had 62%. So Steele's a starter. P. Ryan's a backup, but P. Ryan is the veteran. And Steele already fumbled once this year. If Steele fumbles again, he might be benched a little bit. He's got Bucky Irving, who is doing amazing with the little amount of snaps he has. I foresee him taking over in Tampa eventually this year. And so, I mean, you got Bo Nix, who did well as well, but you're not going to replace him for Richardson. You got Christian Kirk. Otten's decent. I mean, you have a decent lineup. You just got to fix that second running back. Charbonnet will not be starting next week, I don't think. I think, will Kenneth Walker be back? Inactive for week 3. Do they expect him week 4? Maybe. You might have Charbonnet for one more week.
Yeah. I would even say maybe put Hubbard as your number one guy. I mean,
with Andy Dalton behind for sure. And
yeah,
he has Justin Fields on his bench. Justin Fields is not no slouch.
He does. Justin Fields is doing pretty well too.
And then you have Nick Chubb coming back mid-season, so then you can do a late season run.
Yeah, I don't expect Nick Chubb to do anything this season just because of the massive injury he had, but he's still going to be a solid player fantasy-wise. He's just not going to be what he used to be just because of the extent of the injury he had.
Yeah.
But you still want him on your lineup,
But Stroop to Whoop, back to Stroop to Whoop, Breece Hall. Breece Hall has been not as good as everyone thought he's going to be this year, but I think he's still going to have time to do this. I mean, 15, 20, 16 is
15, 20,
it's not terrible. That's
pretty good.
But he's just everyone thought he'd be the number one running back this year. So he's still going to pick it up. Singletary is doing work in the Giants.
Yeah.
So Stroop to Whoop, I think you have plenty more good games to go. For your bench, I don't
like Gabe Davis as the number one receiver.
No, definitely not.
Don't like that at all.
No, switch him out for somebody. Yeah. Unfortunately, you have Deebo Samuel who's hurt. Allen should be back this week.
Yeah, I mean, your best players here are hurt. Probably Keenan Allen was who we switched out
last second.
Gabe Davis with.
Yeah,
probably.
So definitely put Keenan Allen back in next week. And yeah, you got a hurt wide receiver and a hurt tight end.
Yeah,
that's all right.
That's tough, but they'll be back.
You'll figure it out. If we go back to our next game, we have heavyweights versus Lady and the Champs. I believe I thought Lady and the Champs was going to win this one, and she did 110.74 to 64.96. And she just did work. Unfortunately, she had the top bench quarterback with Aaron Rodgers with 21.04 points. He had 2 passing touchdowns and 280 passing yards. But she still got the victory with her starting quarterback, who's Jalen Hurts. Would you start Rodgers over Hurts ever?
Who's Hurts playing next week? Buccaneers? Yeah, I'm starting Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, he has a bye week 5.
Who you got Rodgers? Let me see.
That's all you need.
Rodgers is playing Denver though.
I don't think. I don't know. I think I'll go with Hurts over Rodgers every week.
I think so. I think so too, except for that bye week. But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, if you really want to think about it, it would make you insane. But yeah,
right,
I would
exactly. Like, don't even worry about it. Just stick with Hurts every week and call it. So she had HN who had an off week, but Jake over here has Pacheco still in his lineup. Pacheco's done for a while.
Yeah, I would.
Is he a year in?
He might be. He's on IR right now. I would put him on IR. Get another player.
Put him on IR, which you don't have your IS spots used up yet. So put him on IR.
You got Dowdle on the bench.
Yeah.
He's. I like him. I would put him in. He's a solid. He's better than 0.
40% snaps is better than 0% snaps for sure. Other than that, not much. I mean, unfortunately, Brian Thomas.
Cooper Kupp's injured as well. Subbing him out. He's going to be out for a few weeks.
Oh wow, Jameson Williams only had 0.7 points. That's crazy.
Oh wow, yeah.
3 targets.
I would drop one of these running backs. You got to get another receiver on your bench here.
I would drop Lloyd.
Marshawn Lloyd. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, drop Lloyd because
he's also injured too.
Because Emmanuel Wilson, it looks like he's the backup, but Lloyd's also injured, so he's on IR.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just gotta fix up some of this stuff. Drop Lloyd, get another running back.
Yeah, I mean, I like
your lineup's not bad.
I like the team.
Yeah.
Mike Evans he can be a stud. Travis Kelce, when he gets going, he's going to be great. Tank Dell, love Tank Dell.
Yeah.
Tank Dell's he hasn't caught on yet, but he did amazing last year.
So stick with the team. You're not out. You're 1-2. Not terrible. Lady Champs, she just has a stacked roster, so it's gonna be hard to beat her any week. I mean, her worst person was Bowers this week, which was insane that he's the worst she had.
Yeah.
No players of the week on this roster, but Lady Champs did have the top bench tight end as well. She had Cole Kmet on her bench, who went off for 20 points. Almost had 100 receiving yards and 1 touchdown. Is he for real? I don't know. 11 targets is a lot. I don't think I'd ever start him over Bowers.
No, you're never gonna start Cole Kmet over Bowers.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't even question it.
just being honest here. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins had a good game too. No, I mean it just one good game. He only had one
touchdown.
Point, yeah, and two 1-point games before that. So
yeah, no, I think Ridley is not the guy still there.
Yeah, not a starting caliber yet, but still he was pretty good this week.
Yeah. So we go on to our next one. We have no new friend Scott versus Team Maverick Mix, and Scott pulled out the win, 111.14 to 102.28. Do I have any players from this? No. Players on the bench? No as well. So everyone played the best players they could, I think.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Baker Mayfield had a bad week, and Scott still won.
Jane Daniels was a lot better than, or not a lot. I shouldn't say that. He was a little bit better than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but you're not predicting that.
He had a good game, but yeah, you can't do anything.
But okay, so over here on Team Maverick Migs, you still starting Nakua, even though he's injured, and now you have another issue because Devontae Smith is hurt, and he's concussion, so he's probably out for a game or two as well.
The good news is that Nakua's on IR, so you can put him and not lose anybody. I don't know, Christian Watson maybe.
Christian Watson. We talked about this team already. You gotta drop a Packer. You have two Packers. Drop one.
Christian Watson doesn't play.
Yeah, Christian Watson is the guy for sure. And drop Levis. You don't need Levis. You have Daniels.
Yeah, Levis. Yeah.
And pick up another wide receiver to replace.
I'm dropping Mike. I would drop Mike Williams too. He is not.
Yeah.
Who's their number 2? Is Mike Williams their number 2?
No. Right now, the listing on Sleeper is Garrett Wilson, Malish Conley, Alan Lazard, then Mike Williams. I don't even know who Malish Conley is. He's not even playing.
Alan Lazard, I know, but I don't know who.
Yeah, he has no snaps. I don't know why he's a 2. But Alan Lazard is out there for over 80% of the snaps majority of the time.
Oh yeah, I would.
So he is a 2. Garrett's the 1. Mike Williams is not the Mike Williams old. He had a chance to score a touchdown. He had a chance to pull off a Mike Williams touchdown that he is known to do, and he did not succeed. I don't know if he'll have any really big games.
Yeah, and I don't know if this would work, but Will Levis, I mean, you got 3 quarterbacks on your roster. Now that the bye weeks are coming up, I would try to trade Will Levis for someone. Trade him for a 2 or 3 receiver.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Try to.
That can work.
Yep, that can work. Trade him to a team that's going to need a quarterback off the waivers.
Don't trade him to me though, because I'm not accepting that trade. But it might work for anybody else. Yeah.
Anything else for these rosters? Scott, unfortunately, Gibbs had a decent game. Mason came back to earth little. Tyreek Hill has no quarterback. Diggs did well. Ertz did well. Williams did amazing. Wow, 30.6 points. Wow. Holy crap.
Lions defense I like a lot.
Yeah.
Mayfield I really like this year, even though he had 9 points, just an off game. Even though, I mean, they were playing Denver. He should have had a better game than he had, but I like him this week a lot. Against Philadelphia, not so much, but I mean, I think I don't know. I think I think he'll be good this year.
He'll be good this year, but next week
he has a pretty tough schedule. I mean,
he does. I think I may go with Stafford a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stafford hasn't done amazing. He is playing Chicago next week, so that's definitely
a little bit of
worth starting.
Matchup. Yeah.
And then if we look at
so quarterback is not a concern in this league because there's a lot of good quarterbacks on the free agent market.
That's true.
So.
That's why it's gonna be hard to move Levis like that.
Yeah.
But if you package him with somebody, it might work.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't want to deal with the Nakua, package Nakua and Levis and go get another wide receiver and let someone else deal with holding on to Nakua for a while.
Mm-hmm.
If we move on to our next game, we have Akuta Matata versus King of the North, 92.18 to 82.04. Very close game. A difference
Darnold's
of a little less than 10.
Beast.
And this one, I think King of the North had a chance to win a week.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, Mark Andrews. What is going on with Mark Andrews? He is doing nothing this year.
Mark Andrews, he had a pretty sustainable injury last year. I forget the amount of time, but it was a pretty decent amount of time that he was out of the lineup. So I think they're, like I said, with Kittle and with these injuries, you ease a player into it, especially with a thing like a hamstring like Kittle's. He is not going. I don't think that he's going to be a massive player as soon as he comes back. And you're seeing it with Mark Andrews. That this injury was last year and it's still affecting the output of the guy, you know. I just don't think that they're trying. I think they're trying to ease him back into it. They're not trying to aggravate anything by him running these routes. So for right now, he's going to be a lot more of a blocking tight end, but I expect that to change coming up because likely didn't do anything last game either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I expect that to change for Andrews. I mean, we only have one other receiver, and Mark Andrews is technically our number 2 or arguably our number 1 receiver. So he's going to do something this season at some point.
Because I mean, if you look at his percentage snapping of 74, 63, 33, it's going down. And I think what you're saying is maybe they're realizing that, oh, he's still a little injured. He needs to bring it back a little bit. And then you got Likely, who had 66, 49, 62. So he's not like completely replacing Andrews. He just went off of that crazy first week and came back to earth next 2. So I definitely wouldn't panic on Andrews. Maybe
not at all
to a thirsty Dane over here.
maybe
if you want to.
Conklin is a decent tight end. I mean, even he's going up against Denver.
You're talking about for next week? Yeah, I would definitely start Conklin after this last week. I mean, his percentages 90, 93, 92. He's got to start catching balls. Being on the
especially since we're going up against Buffalo next week. It is not going to be Mark Andrews' day.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely start him next week. If we look at the matchup, you have Marvin Harris, who did well. Unfortunately, Tony Pollard had a bad game. Zamir White had a bad game, which I don't know what's going on with Zamir White. 22% of the snaps went to him, and Madison had 44. Who had the rest? Abdullah? Yes, Abdullah had 34. So I don't know what's going on for the Raiders, why they have 3 running backs going out there for almost the same amount of snaps. That's weird. Pittman has had a terrible year.
Yeah.
If you look at his numbers for where he got drafted. And McConkey is not doing what people thought after his first week. Everyone thought he might be the answer for the Chargers, but I don't know. I still think it might be Joshua Palmer. No, Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson is the one that's having the better year for the Chargers wide receiver core. And then you got Philadelphia defense, who I would start every week as well. So
yeah,
definitely wouldn't worry about that. Your bench, unfortunately, you got McCaffrey, who's injured. You have Love, who's out. Those 2 things are definitely going to help you when they come back. So you're not out of it for sure. You're 0-3, but
absolutely. I would put McCaffrey on IR. But
yes, definitely put him on IR and grab another player, just somebody, just to see what happens with them. You know,
exactly.
Somebody.
Not going to be a long term, or it's not going to be all season.
Now, Kuda Matata, she put up 92.18, which wasn't very much compared to what she was supposed to put out, I think.
Yeah, especially since Ramondre, that was a off week. Rashid was a off week. Yeah, just a lot of
defense. Florida did bad. Yeah, so definitely not the outcome she wanted, but she still got the victory. And she really didn't do anything wrong. Somehow Dallas got -1 points. Wow, that's crazy. And then you got Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson's getting better, but he's not Deshaun Watson old. So
I wouldn't even have Deshaun Watson on my roster.
Oh, he's for the bye week, I imagine. He's there for Kyler Murray's bye.
Yeah.
In week 11. So
yeah,
I think she's moving forward. She's still gonna put up numbers. She just had a low week.
So
definitely fear the Jackies still.
Oh, his bye weeks and what bye week is Kyler?
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah. And nobody on these teams were top players or that. So we move on to our next one. We have Historians, the Dizneyverse team, versus 500 First Legion. And 500 First Legion put up 103 points. Put up a lot of points this week. Unfortunately, we had the answer. Saquon Barkley, who is the top Saquon? Oh my God, why can I not say it? Who is the top running back? That's like a thing. I can't say names. Saquon Barkley, he was the top running back this week. He's dominating this year.
He is so good. Now, it's insane how good this guy is.
And it's so funny because draft day trade, 1-for-1, Gibbs for Barkley, and boy, did that work out for us because he is going off this year. And Dak Prescott had a good game finally. J.K. Dobbins had a low one. I think that was just a Pittsburgh matchup. Pittsburgh has great defense. Terrible as in their terrible play against. St. Brown had well. Adams had a low game. Kincaid finally scored a touchdown.
Kincaid was good, yeah.
Ridley had a low one because Tennessee did terrible. Robinson did decent. Chicago's defense, not great. I was hoping, even though Indianapolis can do much, somehow Chicago defense only put up 5. And if we look at the other side, Mahomes, not great. I don't know what really happened with him, why he didn't put up more numbers. His numbers aren't crazy this year. 15, 14,
interception.
17. Yeah, interceptions.
Yeah.
Interceptions, and I don't know.
Crazy.
No rushing touchdowns this year so far. Bijan Robinson, he hasn't been amazing. 13, 14, 12 points each week. Not crazy, but I mean, he's going to improve as he moves on.
Yeah.
Connor had a low week.
That's a little and you're gonna think I'm crazy here, but Bijan Robinson is a little concerning to me because there are 2 people. I don't know what the significance of the Falcons O-line injuries are, but there are 2 O-linemen, I think 3 actually, that are injured, and they have rookies and second and third stringers playing for them. So Bijan is not behind a good offensive line at all. I'm not saying drop him or bench him, but that's something to watch.
Yeah, his is how that is definitely lower than we thought it would be. And Algier is not taking away as many snaps as I thought. I thought he'd be a lot more of a pester this year. His numbers aren't that crazy compared to last year. So Bijan is the guy for the Falcons. It's just they're throwing it more than they're passing. They're running it right now. Connor had a bad week, but he's going to bounce back easily. Garrett Wilson had a low week, despite the touchdown, only 11 points. McLaurin finally went off against the Bengals. I think McLaurin is a great receiver.
I love Aaron McLaurin.
I'm glad he scored more than 5 fantasy points this week, even though it was against the Bengals. Pitts, you have Pitts and Bijan, which is fine, I guess. It's a weird stack, but Pitts is getting a lot of usage. His percentage overall is going down.
Yeah, Pitts isn't as good as he has been previously. I like Kyle Pitts a lot, but 2 for 5, that's
not a lot.
It's not great, but it's only the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Now you got Rashee Rice, who is the wide receiver for the Chiefs. He went off for 23 fantasy points.
Really,
he is going to be a starter every week. I would move him up in your wide receiver set up there in the top wide receivers, but whatever. Smith, I don't know what's going on in Seahawks. He has a lot of percentage, 79, 83, 88. So he had a big week last week, bad week first week, another bad week. I think he's going to do this. I think he has a high, a low floor, high ceiling because they have a lot of weapons out there in Seattle. They have they have DK Metcalf, they have Lockett, they have Smith. They use their tight ends a lot, and so I think
running back
he just has a low floor, which is fine for a flex. I don't think there's anyone on a bench that I would start. Maybe, you have 2 Buffalo players. I would definitely get rid of one of those. And
I would not have Taysom Hill on my roster. I would say drop him.
Why?
Does he get any points?
Not right now, but he's always guaranteed to have one game where he goes off. But no, you're never going to start him. So yeah, drop him.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Musgrave is not the guy for Green Bay like everyone thought he was going to be. Ended up being Tucker Kraft. So, I mean, Musgrave is almost droppable at this point. And then you got Coleman and Shakir.
Is Keon Coleman the number? What number is he in the Buffalo receiver room?
So, right now, Sleeper has Shakir as number 1, Coleman as number 2, and Curtis Samuel as number 3. If you look at percentage snaps, Coleman scored a touchdown finally, but he was only out there for 31% of the snaps. Now, Buffalo was trouncing the Jaguars, so they might have pulled their starters early. But he was out for 91% of the snaps last week, and they were killing the Dolphins. He was out for 91% of the snaps, and he only got 1 target. So, I don't know. Keon Coleman is weird. Shakir had 50% snaps, but he's producing a lot better.
Yeah, I'm looking at Mitchell Trubisky's stats on ESPN.com, and he did play. So they did pull their starters a little early last game.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel was only 27% each. Actually, crazy. Curtis Samuel has 27% snaps each game. That's scripted. So if I had to do one, I would drop Coleman, or let's try trade him maybe after this big week of a touchdown. Maybe try to trade him because you don't need him. Drop Musgrave, drop Hill, and go hit the waiver for another, I guess, wide receiver, maybe running back. You're really just putting up for bye week players, really.
Yeah, and I like Cousins as a bye week, a bye week guy.
And then Baltimore defense is usually pretty good. So,
Baltimore defense just had that awful fourth quarter, so that's why they dropped their numbers that they've dropped. I mean, 4, 8, and 6. In Las Vegas, they had a terrible fourth quarter again, and it's but that'll get better.
So with Patrick Mahomes, Bijan Robinson, James Conner, Rashee Rice, you have a pretty good roster. You put up 103 points. I mean, if you look at the other teams, you would have beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the other teams this week. That's half the roster, right? We have are we 10 or 12? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You would be a little less than half the rosters. So don't get discouraged at 0-3. Don't get discouraged at 0-3. Still a lot of week left. I want to look at I'm going to slide it over here, do a little of this nonsense.
Sure.
I'm going to slide it over and look at the best and worst managers, because I like these percentages. It's fun to look at this. Best manager was Stroop the Whoop. He set a lineup that was 99% perfect. So he made really good decisions. Biggest blowout was your game, Dane, because you scored 155 against 105. Yep. Narrowest victory was Scott versus Miggs, 111 versus 102. So that was a very close lineup game. Not as close as last week. We've had very
close weeks. Yeah, we've had close games.
We've had a lot of close games. And you were the overachiever by outscoring yourself by 58%. So that's quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
That is quite a bit. Okay. So we talked about all that. Let's go ahead and look at our next week matchups.
Let me see here. Okay.
So if we look at the next week matchups, we'll go to the bottom and we'll start with Lady of the Champs versus Big Beautiful Diz, or BBDis. And let me fix this a little bit. Up here. There we go. Okay, so we got Lady of the Champs versus Big Beautiful Diz, and right now, Lady of the Champs is projected to win 110.15 to 103.71. And looking at this lineup, I don't see much to change. For either lineup. I think this is the way it's going to be, and it's definitely going to be a close one.
Yeah, for some reason, Juwan Jennings is only projected to have 5 points.
Yeah, he's definitely getting more than that.
I highly doubt that. And I'm not saying that to he had one big week, he's going to be great. No, I just don't think he's the number 2 receiver in San Francisco, and he gets offense. 5 points. Yeah, there's no way. I don't. And also, of course, I think I'm going to win the game. I mean, it's confidence. You got to have it,
Are you going to start Jets or Buffalo? Looks like Jets versus Denver.
Yeah, I'm going Jets this time just because Buffalo's playing Ravens. I can't. First, I think our offense is better than their defense, and second, I can't root for a defense that's playing my team. I can't do it. And also, Jets are playing Denver.
Yeah.
So it's a way better match.
Did you know Jets are playing Denver?
I did.
On the other side,
I didn't realize that, man. Thanks for pointing that out.
On the other side, I know it might be hard for you to give advice to your enemy, but if you had to change one thing about this roster, I really don't see anything to change.
There's really nothing. I mean, Zach Moss maybe, or
maybe Zach Moss. Let's see. So Zach Moss is averaging 65%, 80%, 76%. He's kind of the guy for the Bengals.
I wouldn't say who I would replace him with, but
Chase Brown's a lot less.
There's definitely someone on your bench that you could replace him with. I'm not saying who. So I don't want to give too much.
If I was in your shoes, I don't think Warren's not playing enough. I don't think Hopkins. I don't think Locke. Maybe Hopkins, because Miami's so bad, he might score a touchdown. I don't think Cole Kmet's gonna come out and score over 10 points again. I think you keep your roster as it is, honestly. Don't think much else to change there. Your side, I don't think there's much to change either. Even though Odunze, if Allen doesn't play, are you thinking about trying to get him in your roster?
If who doesn't play?
Keenan Allen.
I don't have Keenan Allen.
No, I'm saying if Keenan Allen doesn't play, are you going to try to get because you'll have more opportunity?
I'll think about it. I really don't trust Amari Cooper with his start was just tremendously bad, and his quarterback I hate, but he's also playing Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know what to do there with Amari, but I'll think about it if Dunze's playing the Rams. I mean, it's like I don't really even know how great the Rams defense is. Like what?
Yeah, I don't know either.
How have they been this year? Like they don't have Aaron Donald anymore. Let's see. I'm gonna look up the Rams.
I think if Keenan Allen sits, I would put Odunze over Cooper, just because I think Jerry Jeudy is gonna get more than Cooper.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. I think I just have right now. I have a Cooper in there to balance out the percentages of like win percentage. But yeah, I think I'll probably put a Dunze in there.
So
yeah, I mean that was what happened last week. Is I wasn't sure if Ferguson was going to play because they didn't say anything until like Friday, so I had to play Hunter Henry.
And Ferguson had a great game.
Yeah, and then I did play Ferguson, but I missed out on starting Rome or Amari. But there was nothing I could do. I didn't know if Ferguson was going to play. I didn't want to put him in there, and he does play.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm guessing you picked BBDis for this win.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to go with Jackie. I don't think I'm going to go against the Jackie here. So I'm going to pick Jackie to win this one. Let's look at our next matchup. We have Kalina versus Akuta Matata. So Tara versus another Jackie. And this one's 97.14 to 103.67. Pretty close right now. Doing a quick look at the rosters. You're going to take Kittle out probably. It says it hasn't projected scoring points, but I don't know if he's.
I don't think there's any way he's getting 8 points.
I don't think he's starting or playing.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna play. But if he does, I don't think 8 points. I think these projections are way off.
Yeah, so I might just put in Schultz just to be sure. Schultz has a lot of percentage snaps, 80, 71,
Schultz is safe too.
Yeah, very safe. Yeah. Very safe. I definitely do that one. And other than that, I don't think there's much else to do for your roster.
Jordan Addison, I don't think he's going to play. I just realized
that's right.
Listed as out. You take him.
Let's see.
There's no way he's getting 10 points. Because I don't think he's going to play.
Optimistic he will play this week, but I wouldn't. I don't like starting.
I don't think he's.
I don't like starting players the week after they come off injury. If you don't
exactly,
have
to. Yeah. They don't.
And you got Jerry Jeudy. So
it takes a little bit of time for them to come back right after an injury. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not going to be.
And you have a great thing because you have Jerry Jeudy, who's 80%, 79%, 90%, or you have Courtland Sutton, who's 91%, 89%, 74%. So they play a lot. So definitely put one of those guys in. I would pick Jeudy over Sutton because Denver's playing the Jets.
I agree.
So
you have really good backups here. You have really good backup receivers. You have a great backup quarterback.
Yeah, too great, if you ask me. But you are playing against Akuda Matata, who's Kyler Murray, who could go off more than 19 points. Projected 19 points is sad, actually. Jones, Stevenson, all amazing. I mean, your roster is so good. I do not like it one bit. Shaheed had a poor week. Last week isn't bounced back, probably. Tampa Bay defense is the only downward because they're playing Philadelphia. I would start Dallas against the Giants. Dallas has got to come back. They cannot do it.
This has to be a back game for Dallas. It has to be.
So I know they put up -1 point last week, but I would definitely.
I don't think there's any way that they get -1 points against the Giants. That is not going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. So, pretty close. Who do you think is going to win?
I'll go Akuda here. I think Akuda's team is really good. And I think that the players that didn't have a good week last week are gonna have bounce back. So, I'm taking Akuda.
Yeah, and they're both 2-1 teams, so this is definitely a swing game here for them. And I think I agree. I think Jackie's team is a little too stacked when you look at individuals. Especially their projection for scoring is so low compared to what they usually score. So I definitely think Jackie's going to win this one. Let's look at our next matchup. We have John, East High Wildcats versus Maverick Biggs. Unfortunately, John, until you make some changes, your possibility of winning is going to be so low. But it's not over. Keep fighting. You
have to get rid of Gronk.
You have to just let him go.
He is in the booth at Fox Sports doing the pregame show.
Is he really?
These games are happening. Yeah, he's in the pregame show now. So please, he is not on a bye, even though it says bye. He does not play. Please get rid of him.
Yeah,
I don't even know why he's in the game still.
So drop him. Drop Vital. Push the waivers.
Chuba's your guy here, running back.
Yeah,
Chuba's the number 2.
Yep, put Chuba in, and I think you have a chance for an upset this week because Miggs has squeaked out some wins. He's 2-1. But Lamar Jackson.
Miggs also make sure you take out Nakua and Devontae Smith. They're not going to play.
Oh, that's true. And Devontae Smith is projected 11 points, which is not going to happen. So.
Yeah, he has a concussion. It's not
like he's starting off with 0, so that's not a big change for your points. But that Nakua change will add to your overall, so you'll be projected over 100 at that point. I gotta refer. I just hope John makes these changes so he can get back into this for sure. Yeah. But who do you think's gonna win?
Miggs. Yeah.
Yeah. Until John makes some changes, I cannot say John is going to win.
I'm rooting for you, John. It's easy changes. I'm just I can't pick you yet. Also, I would drop Bo Nix too. I think Justin Fields is a much better quarterback.
Yeah.
Although I hate the Steelers, but Bo Nix is not the guy.
Yeah, and Fields is showing that he might be the starter for us a year if he plays well.
Yeah.
If they keep winning games. Freaking Steelers. We got heavyweights versus No New Friend Scott. Right now, No New Friend Scott is projected 97.46 to 77.3. And a lot of this is because heavyweight Jake has a lot of players on his team who's not starting. Like Pacheco, like
Pacheco.
Cup. So get those off your roster. If you make that change, if you make your change on your roster, put in Dowd for 7.7, put in Williams for 9.4, that brings you up to a 17 projection, 17 more points.
Yeah, and there's even some
4 overall, so you're down by what, 3?
Yeah, and there's even some wide receivers that I would go after that I think are a little bit better than Jamison Williams. in free agency that you can try to pick up on waivers too. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't even talked about waivers yet, which we will get to. We're going a little long here, 15 minutes. That's okay. So
that's okay.
I think make those changes and you'll be rejected down by 3, which is pretty close. And I don't think too much on Scott's in the change.
No, Scott's all good here. I mean, the only thing is that Zach Ertz I do not like as the tight end, but
I think the only thing he might change is if Mixon's good to go, he plays him against Jacksonville.
Oh,
which then at that point, I guess you bench Hill. He doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah. Also, I don't like Ezekiel Elliott on your squad at all. Yeah, don't like that. I would get a second tight end, man.
God, 90% for Elliott this last week. Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Gattle has taken over, huh?
That's the guy. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Dang, I kind of bet on Elliott in one of my leagues. I guess in my fan dynasty, I have him. I've had him for years, and I should have tried to trade him away really hard last year, but 2 years ago, but I didn't. I don't think there's much to do.
Also, I would also consider putting Stafford back in. I don't think Mayfield, unfortunately,
I would do Stafford over Mayfield. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a higher ceiling.
I think his bounce back is next year. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, no, I get Philly. So who are you going with on this week? If Jake makes the changes.
Yeah, if Jake makes the changes, I still, and if Scott puts in Stafford, honestly, I still like Scott in this matchup, unfortunately.
I think if Jake makes the changes, I actually think Jake will get a win here. He's 1-2, so he's won before.
Yeah.
So I think he can win again. I think he can upset the one of the host Scott on this next week if he can just make those changes. And let's say we look at 500 First Legion versus King of the North, and we have 500 First Legion 104.05 to King of the North 86.97. And looking at your rosters starting off, if you get a quick peek, I don't see too many changes that could be made. No one is injured. No one is questionable.
Maybe Lad McConkey. I don't know who he is.
Put in Shakir.
Yeah, for sure.
Over that, for sure. I would definitely do Shakir over McConkey.
Yeah.
Oh wait, McConkey's not on 500 First Legion.
Is he not?
That's on King of the North.
Oh, King of the North. Yeah.
So King of the North, I would start.
I thought. Yeah. 500 First Legion's good here. I'm no issue with
Dobbs over McConkey or Conklin. Maybe Conklin. His percentage usage is crazy.
Maybe who?
Actually, you know what? I would start Conklin over Mark Andrews until Mark Andrews shows he can play.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that because again, Denver.
Yeah, I would definitely put him in over Andrews.
Maybe a little Jacoby Myers action here.
Jacoby Myers has had a good week. He had 17.
Yeah.
His percentage snap is high, 87%, 94%, 92%, versus Devontae Adams, who's same exact percentages. I think it's just whoever ends up catching the ball that week.
Yeah,
they're the two guys for sure.
They're playing the Browns too. It's
a good matchup.
Yeah, that's a sexy player to have on your bench right there.
Because you're not going to run against the Browns, so you got to throw.
Yeah,
you got to throw. So yeah, I would make those two changes. Take out McConkey, put in Myers. Take out Andrews, put in Conklin. That puts you closer to the victory, I think. Not projection wise, because Conklin is projected half of what Andrews projected, and Myers is projected lower than McConkey. But I think those actually are the better plays for potential high ceiling.
And I'm looking at Obi-Wan here. I mean, Bijan Robinson versus New Orleans with the potential O-line trouble, and then maybe Kyle Pitts and Baltimore defense. Those are my only concerns. I don't know. I might like King in the North here. I mean, a little upset action going on if he makes those changes. I wouldn't be crazy. I think this will be a good matchup for sure.
So is that your go, King in the North?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm saying that there might be an upset here.
Okay.
If he makes those changes,
Yeah.
that's a big if he makes those changes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, North is at Disney right now, so football is far off of his radar.
Yeah, sure.
So
sure.
will he
If he
make those
doesn't make
changes
those,
tomorrow?
yeah, if he does make those changes, then I'm going with Obi. But if he does, I say he has a chance here to pull.
I'm
off
gonna mark
this
you
upset.
down for King of the North. I'm gonna mark down for 501st Legion. I think his overall score is just a little too high to overcome. And
It'll be a fun match.
but someone's gonna get a victory here. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, I just realized. Zamir White as your running back number 1. Put Pollard above him.
Yeah,
but that'll be changed soon because McCaffrey will come back. So that's that. I understand why.
Would you play Spears over him over White? They both have the same percentage snaps.
Spears.
I think Spears might have.
Spears got 8 last week. Zamir going up against
Spears versus Miami versus White versus Cleveland.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
That's the same guy.
Yeah.
I'd go matchup. I would go with Spears over White just because.
Yeah, because he got
no, because he has Pollard too. So never mind.
Yeah, you're right.
Both.
Yeah, Titans. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you can't start both. I would even at this point, honestly.
Actually, starting both is actually a genius move because then you don't lose fantasy. You don't lose points to anybody.
That's right. Someone's gonna score a touchdown probably
Think about
against Miami. They both score 2 touchdowns. Dude,
that's next year. I'm just drafting the entire Chiefs offense. Like we found a hack.
Someone's gonna score, and then that player will be my roster.
Yeah, you just draft every single player of one team. So just a really good team.
So we're going through the draft in my family league, and my cousin Beth Ann, she unfortunately for the first 6 rounds drafted all players the same bye week. So she was like,
that happened in Scott one year.
Yeah, so she was like, oh no, and I was like, lean into it, draft only players of that bye week, and just say, I'm booting that week, I'm gonna lose that week, but every other week I'm good.
Still wins.
And yeah, imagine. And she did. She continued to draft players that had the same bye week as the rest of her players, which unfortunately means they have to draft players from the same teams over and over. But yeah, so she was targeting players with that bye week, and I said I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Yeah.
So last matchup we have Historians versus Droop de Whoop. We have 102.47 to 97.75. Looking at quick roster here, I've not seen any outs. I'm not seeing any questionable. So all the rosters are about set up. Deebo Samuel will not be playing. Keenan Allen might play. Will you put him over Swift? I would. Would you put him over Waddle? I think I would too, actually. Because Miami does not
put
have
him over Davis.
Huh?
Put him over Davis.
Put him over Davis, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
First, put him over Davis for sure.
They have Deebo Samuel coming back? No way.
No way.
No way. That's not. I don't know Njoku's injury either, but no way Deebo plays. But if Keenan comes back, yeah, put him over Davis.
Yeah. Other than that, your team is pretty set up.
I like this matchup too. This is going to be a fun one to watch as well because Josh Allen's going to be crazy.
Oh my god, yeah, versus Baltimore. If Baltimore scores, then he has to play.
Oh, although there's rain in the forecast at Baltimore.
Oh yeah. That's not good for the Buffalo. That's
not good, but it's Sunday. It's a week away. I'm kidding. Josh Allen is superhuman. That might help him.
Ridiculous. Yeah. On my side, I don't have much changes to make. I already looked at my roster and made the changes I feel would be best. The only person I'm thinking about is, do I want to start Ridley versus Miami, or do I want to start like Zay Flowers? And if Walker,
I like Ridley more than Miami.
And then if Walker comes back, do I even start him next week? back off injury versus Detroit, or just keep with Brian Robinson, who's been
I would
doing
keep
really
with
well?
Brian Robinson. I like Brian Robinson in fantasy a lot.
And
He's been
Arizona.
solid. He's consistently solid. I like Brian Robinson a lot.
Yeah. He's definitely not going to take out J.K. Dobbins. He's doing too much out there for the Chargers, even though he had a bad week.
Zay Flowers has been going decent, except last week on.
He was only out for 67% of the snaps, which is
weird.
weird.
Yeah, he's been having a good year so far. I like Zay Flowers a lot. I think it just sucks that that Lamar's behind practice squad O lineman. It seems like, and can't throw the ball. It doesn't have time. But I've always liked Flowers. Ever since he was in college, I was so happy that Ravens got him.
So, looking at this matchup here, who do you take? Do you take take us, or do you take Stroop the Whoop?
It's so close, man. Stroop the Whoop. I mean, he sets his lineup really well every year or every week. Really well, he knows what he knows what he's doing. Defense is a little bit better. Man, either or, but for the sake of this, I'm gonna take Stroop for now.
All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna take it myself because I gotta believe in myself.
Yeah.
2-1.
Also has a way better quarterback too.
Yeah, his
Allen's Prescott's
better than
Giants.
Prescott.
Yeah,
Allen's better than Prescott for sure, and that could be the big difference right there. You know, if Allen projects continue what he's projected, usually he could easily score in the 30. That's 10 more. That puts him above me, easy.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that is the week matchups. Let's take a look at the free agents.
Sure.
We look at the free agents here. So
there's not too many. Not too many in the running back category. At least there's still quite a few in the wide receiver, defense, tight end.
So if we look at quarterback first, Malik Willis is still out there. He's not projected very much because Love might come back, but I don't think Love plays this next week. I think they let him sit one more week because
I agree.
They can easily. I think Willis is playing so well they don't have to rush him. So Willis is a top quarterback, but if you want someone for future's sake, Andy Dalton is back.
Yeah.
He replaced Bryce Young, and he went off and scored 24 points. I, as a Bengals fan, am so upset with our 0-3 start. And I want to see the whole world burn right now. So I am actually rooting for Andy Dalton to torch the Bengals this week so that Cincinnati fans go and burn down our stadium. That's my goal. That's what I'm projecting. Andy Dalton to torch the old team, the Bengals, the team who sat him on his birthday week. Red Rocket's going to fly high, I think. So if you want future Dalton, if you need one for next week, Willis is a good pickup, I think, against Minnesota. Minnesota? Minnesota's a really good defense, so I don't know. If we look at running back, top running back for free agents was Green Bay's Emmanuel Wilson. He scored 15 points with 1 receiving yard and 50 rushing yards. Don't think he's going to repeat himself. So top running backs out there, I don't see too much, honestly.
Yeah, I mean Algier.
Algier, he's only getting like 30%.
Justice Hill is a good 3 running back, maybe. Even
and if Henry goes down,
but I mean,
down,
I've always liked Justice Hill as a player, but for fantasy wise, I don't know. Miles Sanders, he just had a not great, but Kareem Hunt was just signed by the Chiefs.
Don't know how long until he starts doing work there.
Yeah,
and then Gus Edwards, he is not getting a lot of snaps, but again, if Jacob Dobbins get hurt, Edwards might play a lot more. So if you're looking for just people to put on your bench to hold on to, I would do Edwards, Bigsby, Algier, Hill. I think I would do actually Bigsby, Edwards, Hill, Algier in that order. Actually, no. Bigsby, Hill, Edwards, Algier in that order. If you look at wide receivers, Carolina's Deontay Johnson scored 22 points with 100 receiving yards and a touchdown. And if Andy Dalton continued being their quarterback, he has a good future in front of him. He played great for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He left there. I think he's going to do well.
Well, what's also good is that there's literally a number one guy right now in free agency. So that would be a steal for anyone looking for wide receivers.
Yeah, he is a number one guy. And so he has a chance to do work. I mean, if you look at my waiver right there, I already put a waiver in for Johnson.
Yeah, I have too. I'm not going to get
I don't know the order, but I have him in case I put one in for him just because, like, why
I'm
would
like
you not
dead
go
last waivers, so I'm not going to get him. It's yours.
Yeah, so Johnson potential. Wendell Robinson is doing decent for the Giants. He's over 6% snaps. He's getting thrown the ball quite a bit. So he's potential. And then you got Darnay Mooney over for Atlanta. 95% snap, 100% snap, 93% snap. That is somebody you want your team for sure.
That is, that's incredible.
Brandon Cooks, he's playing good amount, 79, 81, 80. If Dallas finally picks it up and starts scoring touchdowns, he's going to see some of the reception touchdowns for sure. There's a lot of wide receivers. Quentin Johnson, 67, 70, 80. He scored 5 points, 19 points, 11 points. Why is he not on someone's team? It's ridiculous. I just named 5 wide receivers you could pick up. That's 4 of your slots. Wide receiver, flex. If you have a bad team, that's right there what you're going to do. You're going to pick up those players. So what you're going to do, I'm going to show you right now. Go to your team. I already did this waiver, but I'll do something different. We go to our team. Let's say I'm gonna get rid of Likely. I'll go here. You don't do it from here. You go to players. Go to wide receivers. I love Mooney's usage right now, 90% snaps. What you do is you'll go up on him and you'll hit this helmet. It says Wednesday, Thursday, because that's when Thursday's when our thing goes through. You'll click that. You have to go through on your claim. You scroll down to the player you want to select, and then you hit the bench spot right there. Now I make my waiver claim, and bam! Now I have 2 waivers. I have one for Johnson, one for Mooney, and I can switch them out. I could be like, oh, I want Mooney more than I want Johnson, and then that's how you would do it. I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that because I really don't want that to happen. And that's how you do your waiver pickups. You don't go from here. This is how you say your roster. If I wanted to switch out Robinson for somebody, I'll just click their spot right there. But that's how you do a waiver claim right there. And pick up these wide receivers because they're going to do work the rest of the year for sure. If you look at tight end, top tight end was Noah Fant. He scored 9 points, no touchdowns. Don't think it's worth a pickup. Don't think any tight end is worth a pickup. Do you disagree? Is there any tight end you'd pick up right now?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think there's anybody really worth picking up. If you need a tight end, I guess go with Fant.
I mean, I might be dropping Hunter Henry here soon if he has a 1-point performance again.
Pick up Hunter Henry because he has snaps.
Yeah, so that might be somebody on the free agency list here soon if he continues to play like he did last time. But no, I don't think that.
And then if you look at the defense, Green Bay was the top scoring defense with 22 points with their 2 interceptions. They are putting up so many points that they're forcing teams to try to score, which forces errors. But if you look at, if you're looking at the roster here, it says week 4, but why don't you go over to season projections and look at who's projected the most? Seattle's projected 101 points this year, and they're still a free agent. New England, 99. Las Vegas, 99. Green Bay, 99. So some good options out there for your defense, especially when it comes to bye week as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that I'm looking at right now is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and people might be thinking, hey, that's kind of crazy. Number 30 defense, you think that's pretty cool? 4-4 and negative 2 points this year for fantasy. Hey, listen to me, Jacksonville Jaguars. They're a good team. They have good players.
Are they?
I think they're gonna catch on here pretty soon. I'm putting in a waiver pickup right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think people are going to look at me crazy, but hey, I think that they're
I'm looking crazy right now.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be good here soon.
Oh my gosh.
Number 329 overall, 4% roster, 2% start. I'm going to be in that 2%.
Oh my
Pretty soon it's going to be 1% because everyone's not going to listen to me. And I'm going to be like, hey, look at me at week 18 winning the championship with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's all I'm saying.
So something I look for defenses is I look over for their last 4-week matchups, because at some point you have to look for the future, look for the playoffs. And I don't look at week 18 because week 18 isn't a championship week. Week 17 is our championship week because week 18 is when teams who are in the playoffs rest. So playing Chicago, playing Minnesota, playing Green Bay, not a good matchup for Seattle. So I wouldn't worry about Seattle. Look at Green Bay. They're playing Detroit, Seattle, New Orleans, Minnesota. Not great. Not great. Who's Jacksonville playing?
Let me see.
Las Vegas, Tennessee.
Yeah, unbelievable matchups.
Las Vegas, Tennessee's not bad. Not bad.
Well, exactly.
Oh my God, Dane in the championship game, starting the Jacksonville Jaguars defense.
Hey, I'm just everyone's calling me crazy. That's what I saw. I'm just saying. You thought that was a joke? I am dead serious. I mean, by then, Tennessee and Las Vegas are going to be so god awful. They're going to have third stringers and practice squad people out there playing.
There's a potential for sure for that. All right. Well, we're getting on an hour 11 now of this recording. Went a little long.
We like to talk here.
We like to talk here. Yes, we like to talk. So, hey, if you liked what we did, go ahead and make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Go ahead and do that for us. And, share it if you want to share it. I don't know how much people want to listen to our talk about our
somebody else's fantasy.
Dizneyverse Fantasy League, but there's some good information out there. So all I can say is we'll see you next week.